Welcome once again to a playoff edition of the Coach Adkins Show. Obviously joined by Coach once again, and it's a real pleasure being here and hope to keep joining you every week. This is a great feeling. Let's talk about playoffs. One down. We're looking ahead, of course, this week to Metamora, but talk about last week's game against Ottawa. I thought the offense came out maybe a little jittery. Just from our perspective, first round playoffs, everybody's hyped up, but it seemed like the defense stepped up really well. We went right back to Bulldog football, took care of business. Talk about that week one matchup.
Yeah, I think you said it best. We got the ball to start the game, and unfortunately, a couple penalties. Guys were excited. We kind of got off the ball a little earlier than we were supposed to, and then missed some easy wide open throws as well. Again, I think that was a little bit of the nerves and the jitters of that first round matchup of playoff football, and an opponent that we weren't used to, right? And don't play regularly and haven't played them in years past, et cetera. Again, I'm not going to make excuses for our kids or our team. We did not start the game very well offensively. But thank God our defense showed up to play, and that's exactly what happened. And I told the kids, that's what great teams do. In the game of basketball, you're going to have a bad night shooting, right? So in this game on Friday, we had a bad night offensively. But again, great teams, have that other side of the ball that kind of picks up the slack, so to speak, whenever one side of the ball is maybe struggling. And I felt that that's exactly what we did. We had our best defensive performance of the season, in my opinion. With the multiple pick sixes, the tackles for losses, the sacks. We were in the backfield. We held them to negative total yards when our starters were in there, and I felt really good about that. But that being said, I felt like there was a time and a point in the game where our offense finally kind of settled down and settled in. And we put together a nice little drive there. It was actually our last scoring drive there. And we looked good at that point. And again, you're going to have mistakes. You're going to have jitters. You're going to have all that. You got to be able to adapt and overcome and maybe settle down quicker. So certainly I hope we settle in faster, this Saturday against Metamora. But overall, you can't complain with a win. Survive in advance. We're moving on, and we're getting to do this show again, and we're getting another opportunity for another round. So,
yep, you bet. And let's talk about that next round. We've got a Metamora team coming here to Frank Dutton Field on a Saturday night, which is a little different. But that gives you an extra day to prepare. Talk about Metamora. That's a team that put up 68 points against Jacksonville. What kind of challenges or concerns do you have coming into this week?
Yeah, I would say we have several. Again, they're going to bring a different style of play, right? Kind of think back to the Q&D game. That's kind of what they're more like offensively. Big tight end and H-back, and they run the ball well. They're huge up front, a lot of pulling guards, misdirection action, and then their quarterback's a hero. So again, they're gonna pose some things to us, some challenges that our kids are gonna have to step up, to the plate for. But again, I really like our game plan going into it. I was fortunate enough, with us playing last Friday, I was fortunate enough to go watch their game against Jacksonville on Saturday. Was able to kind of check the atmosphere out, right? What are the kids like on the sideline? So again, so that I could prepare our kids for that. And there's no doubt that Metamora is going to roll, couple charter buses deep here, and they're going to get off the bus and they're going to be ready to play a 4-quarter physical war. And I truly believe that. And so we've kind of prepped our kids for that all week long. You mentioned about the extra day of prep. It's been nice, again, because of the different stuff that they're going to try to do to us, to give us that extra day to prepare our kids, both physically and mentally, right? Like, we're going to have to make sure we're sound, assignment football, doing our job and our responsibility on every single play on both sides of the ball. But again, I know our kids really well, and I know they're going to be up for the challenge, and it's going to be a challenge. I told them that again this morning. The days of us running clocking teams might be over. So we have to be prepared and ready, both physically and mentally, for that 4-quarter war that's going to be a physical ball game. But like I said, I know our kids are going to be up for the challenge, and I can't wait for Saturday night.
Well, he sort of answered my next question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. How has the week been leading up? You talk a lot about throughout the season at the Coach Adkins Show about the week of practice and prep, and you always kind of have that vibe of your team and going into the week. How does this week feel?
And I'm not just saying this just because this has been one of the best weeks of practice that we've had all season long. Our kids have been locked in since Monday when I saw them in the morning, and then certainly after school. And Tuesday I felt like we had our best practice of the year. Followed that up, polished some things off yesterday, and then had a great run through this morning. Again, anytime you get the senior experience and the senior leadership that we have on this program, these guys have been through the run last year. And again, now they realize that this could be it for them, and Metamora wants to come and end your season. And like I said, I think it's going to be a war for 4 quarters, and our seniors and our team as a whole are going to do everything that they can to not let our season end. And like I said, if they play as well as they prepared and practiced this week, I really like our chances.
That's great. So we always end the show a little bit with some non-football action. This week I want to ask you, a lot of people at home don't realize this, but you're our 7th grade boys basketball coach as well. So obviously that season's kicking off, or it's been kicked off. You tell me, but how do you balance both? And talk about that role as a 7th grade coach as well.
Yeah, so this will probably be my 10th year doing junior high boys basketball. I love it. I love the game of basketball, number one, but more importantly, I love getting the opportunity to coach kids, and in this case, younger kids. I will say it's different, right? Going from high school kids to 7th graders, and I have to flip my mind mentally to put myself in their shoes. So it's definitely different. And then it's a lot, right? We basketball practice typically right after school, and then I'll roll into football practice in the evening. So it definitely makes for long days. But I can't say enough good things about how both groups have handled this transition or this situation, I guess, that we're in. And hats off to my assistant coaches on both sides. Jason Baum's helping me with the 7th grade basketball boys. Like yesterday we had practice, so I couldn't be at our basketball practice, and he took it, and he's doing a great job. And I appreciate everything that he's doing for the program. But yeah, we're 3 weeks in now that I've had to overlap, when tryouts and practice started. But we're making it work, and we're making the most of it, and I'm having a blast with both groups. Obviously, certainly I want the football run to continue. And tonight we got to get a big basketball game. We're 2-0 going into the championship game tonight against Unity, coming off a huge victory Wednesday night against a Danville team that was very good, and we beat them by 6. And so that kind of set up the showdown for this Friday tonight, against Unity at 4:30, and again, I couldn't be happier for the kids, for both groups, and thank you to my wife for allowing me to do this, right? And my kids are going to come watch the game tonight, and let's get a win Friday, and then another one on Saturday. How about that?
Yeah,
so
that sounds great, Coach, and I think I could speak for the 7th grade parents that. Us senior and junior and sophomore parents want to keep you kind of engaged in football a little bit longer. They can wait for the end of their season to get your full attention. Awesome. So that's going to do it for this week's Coach Adkins Show. Chad's not here to give us bloopers this week, so I'm going to go ahead and let Coach give us the rundown on where you can find Bulldog TV tomorrow night.
Don't forget, this week, Saturday night, 7 p.m., we're back on Bulldog TV again because it's another home game. Really thankful for that, and really appreciate RZ behind the camera. He had a great special this week in the program for the News Gazette. Him and the crew are doing a great job, so if you get a chance, please check out that article. He's a great kid, and again, this whole production runs because of him. So if you can't make it to the game, make sure you check out RZ and the Bulldog TV Saturday night, 7 p.m. See you there.